Welcome to this reading of the Dhammapada, one of the most beloved collections of the Buddha's teachings. In this complete series, we will read all 26 chapters, from the twin verses to the Brahmana. Please sit comfortably, relax your mind, and let these timeless words gently flow into your awareness. Chapter 1, the twin verses. All that we are is the result of what we have thought. It is founded on our thoughts. It is made up of our thoughts. If a man speaks or acts with an evil thought, pain follows him, as the wheel follows the foot of the ox. All that we are is the result of what we have thought. It is founded on our thoughts. It is made up of our thoughts. If a man speaks or acts with a pure thought, happiness follows him, like a shadow that never leaves him. He abused me. He beat me. He defeated me. He robbed me. In those who harbor such thoughts, hatred will never cease. He abused me. He beat me. He defeated me. He robbed me. In those who do not harbor such thoughts, hatred will cease, for hatred does not cease. By hatred, at any time, hatred ceases by love. This is an eternal law. The world does not know that we must all come to an end here. But those who know it, their quarrels cease at once. He who lives looking for pleasures only, his senses uncontrolled, immoderate, in his food, idle and weak, Mara will overthrow him, as the wind throws down a weak tree. He who lives without looking for pleasures, his senses well controlled, moderate in his food, faithful and strong, him Mara will not overthrow any more than the wind throws down a rocky mountain. He who wishes to put on the yellow robe, without having cleansed himself from sin, without truth and self-restraint, is not worthy of the yellow robe. But he who has cleansed himself from sin is well grounded in all virtues, and regards truth and self-restraint. He is indeed worthy of the yellow robe. They who imagine truth in untruth and see untruth in truth never arrive at truth, but follow vain desires. They who know truth in truth and untruth in untruth arrive at truth and follow true desires. As rain breaks through an ill-thatched house, passion will break through an unreflecting mind. As rain does not break through a well-thatched house, passion will not break through a well-reflected mind. The evildoer suffers in this world, and he suffers in the next. He suffers in both. He suffers when he thinks of the evil he has done. He suffers more when going on the evil path. The virtuous man is happy in this world, and he is happy in the next. He is happy in both. He is happy when he thinks of the good he has done. He is still more happy when going on the good path. The thoughtless man, even if he can recite a large portion of the law, but is not a doer of it, has no share in the priesthood. He is like a cowherd, counting the cows of others. The follower of the law, even if he can recite only a small portion of the law, but having forsaken passion, hatred, and foolishness, possesses true knowledge and serenity of mind, caring for nothing in this world or that to come. He has indeed a share in the priesthood. Chapter 2, Earnestness. Earnestness is the path of immortality. Thoughtlessness is the path of death. Those who are in earnest do not die. Those who are thoughtless are as if dead already. Those who are advanced in earnestness, having understood this clearly, delight in earnestness and rejoice in the knowledge of the Ariyas. These wise people, meditative, steady, always possessed of strong powers, attain to nirvana, the highest happiness. If an earnest man has roused himself, if he is not forgetful, and if he overcomes desire and sorrow, The wise will call him a man who has found the right path by rousing himself. By earnestness, by restraint and control, the wise man may make for himself an island, which no flood can overwhelm. Fools follow after vanity. Men of evil wisdom, the wise man keeps earnestness as his best jewel. Follow not after vanity, nor after the enjoyment of love and lust. He who is earnest and meditative obtains ample joy when the learned man drives away vanity by earnestness. He, the wise, climbing the terraced heights of wisdom, looks down upon the fools. Serene, he looks upon the toiling crowd as one that stands on a mountain, looks down upon the men that stand upon the plain. Earnest among the thoughtless, wakeful among the sleepers, the wise man advances like a racer. Leaving behind the hack by earnestness did McGavin rise to the lordship of the gods. Earnestness is always praised, thoughtlessness is always blamed. A bhikshu who delights in earnestness, who looks with fear on thoughtlessness, moves about like fire, burning all his fetters, small or large. A bhikshu who delights in earnestness, who looks with fear on thoughtlessness, will not fall away. He is close upon nirvana. Chapter 3. The mind. As a fletcher makes straight his arrow, a wise man makes straight his trembling and unsteady mind, which is difficult to guard, difficult to hold back, as a fish taken from the water and thrown on dry ground. Our mind trembles all over in order to escape the dominion of Mara. It is good to tame the mind, which is difficult to hold in and flighty, rushing wherever it listeth. A tamed mind brings happiness. Let the wise man guard his thoughts, for they are difficult to perceive, very artful, and they rush wherever they list. Thoughts well guarded bring happiness. Those who bridle their mind, which travels far, moves about alone, is without a body, and hides in the chamber of the heart, will be free from the bonds of Mara. If a man's mind is unsteady, if he does not know the true law, if his peace of mind is troubled, his knowledge will never be perfect. If a man's mind is free from the lust of pleasures, if he is without ill will, if he is free from evil, he has no fear, knowing that this body is fragile like a jar, and making this thought firm like a fortress. One should attack Mara with the weapon of knowledge. One should guard one's conquest, and never rest. Before long, alas, this body will lie on the earth, despised, without understanding, like a useless log. Whatever a hater may do to a hater, or an enemy to an enemy, a wrongly directed mind will do us greater mischief. Not a mother, not a father will do so much, nor any other relative. A well-directed mind will do us greater service. Chapter 4. Flowers. Who shall overcome this earth, and the world of Yama, and the world of the gods? Who shall find out the plainly shown path of virtue, as a clever man finds out the right flower? The disciple will overcome this world, and the world of Yama, and the world of the gods. The disciple will find out the plainly shown path of virtue. As a clever man finds out the right flower, he who knows that this body is like froth, and has learnt that it is as unsubstantial as a mirage, will break the flower, pointed arrow of Mara, and never see the king of death. Death carries off a man who is gathering flowers, and whose mind is distracted. As a flood carries off a sleeping village, death subdues a man who is gathering flowers, and whose mind is distracted, before he is satiated in his pleasures, as the bee collects nectar, and departs without injuring the flower, its color or scent. So, let a sage dwell in his village, not the perversities of others, not their sins of commission or omission, but his own misdeeds and negligences. should a sage take notice of dot, like a beautiful flower, full of color, but without scent, are the fine but fruitless words of him who does not act accordingly, but like a beautiful flower, full of color and full of scent, are the fine and fruitful words of him who acts accordingly. As many kinds of wreaths can be made from a heap of flowers, so many good things may be achieved by a mortal when once born. The scent of flowers does not travel against the wind, nor that of sandalwood, or of tagara and malika flowers, but the odor of good people travels even against the wind. A good man pervades every place. Sandalwood or tagara, a lotus flower, or a jasmine, among these sorts of perfumes. The perfume of virtue is unsurpassed. Mean is the scent that comes from tagara and sandalwood. The perfume of virtue rises up to the gods as the highest of the people who possess these virtues, who live without thoughtlessness, and who are freed by true knowledge. Mara never finds the way, as a sweet-smelling and beautiful lotus is born of the water, and grows up in the water, yet remains unstained by the water. So the wise man, the disciple of the Buddha, shines among those who are ignorant, among the people who walk in darkness. Chapter 5. The Fool. Long is the night to him who is awake. Long is a mile to him who is tired. Long is life to the foolish who do not know the true law. If a traveler does not meet with one who is his better or his equal, let him firmly keep to his solitary journey. There is no companionship with a fool. These sons belong to me, and this wealth belongs to me. With such thoughts, a fool is tormented. He himself does not belong to himself. How much less sons and wealth? The fool who knows his foolishness is wise, at least so far. But a fool who thinks himself wise, he is called a fool indeed. If a fool be associated with a wise man, even all his life, he will perceive the truth as little as a spoon perceives the taste of soup. If an intelligent man be associated for 1 minute only with a wise man, he will soon perceive the truth as the tongue perceives the taste of soup. Fools of little understanding have themselves for their greatest enemies, for they do evil deeds which must bear bitter fruits. That deed is not well done of which a man must repent, and the reward of which he receives, weeping and with a tearful face. That deed is well done of which a man does not repent, and the reward of which he receives gladly and cheerfully, as long as the evil deed done does not bear fruit. The fool thinks it is like honey, but when it ripens, then the fool suffers grief. Let a fool month after month eat his food with the tip of a blade of kusa grass, yet he is not worth a 16th part of those who have well understood the law. An evil deed, like newly drawn milk, does not turn suddenly, smouldering. It follows the fool like fire covered by ashes. And when the evil deed saith, after it has become known, brings sorrow to the fool, then it destroys his bright lot and cleaves his head. Let the fool wish for a false reputation, for precedence among the Bhiktyas, for lordship in the convents, for honor among other people. Let both laymen and Bhiktyas think that this is done by me. Let them be subject to me in everything which is to be done or not to be done. Thus is the mind of the fool, and his desire and pride grow. One is the road that leads to wealth, another the road that leads to nirvana. If the bhikshu, the disciple of Buddha, has learnt this, he will not yearn for honor. He will strive after separation from the world. Chapter 6. The Wise Man. If you see an intelligent man who tells you where true treasures are to be found, who shows what is to be avoided, and who administers reproofs, follow that wise man. It will be better, not worse, For those who follow him, let him admonish, let him teach, let him forbid what is improper. He will be beloved of the good, but the bad he will be hated. Do not have evildoers for friends. Do not have low people for friends. Have virtuous people for friends. Have for friends the best of men. He who drinks in the law lives happily with a serene mind. The wise man rejoices in the law, as preached by the noble. Well-makers lead the water. Fletchers bend the arrow. Carpenters bend a log of wood. Wise people fashion themselves as a solid rock is not shaken by the wind. Wise people falter not amidst blame and praise. Wise people, after they have listened to the laws, become serene like a deep, smooth, and still lake. Good people walk on whatever befall. The good do not prattle, longing for pleasure, whether touched by happiness or sorrow. Wise people never appear elated or depressed. If whether for his own sake or for the sake of others, a man wishes neither for a son, nor for wealth, nor for lordship, and if he does not wish for his own success by unfair means, then he is good, wise, and virtuous. Few are there among men who arrive at the other shore. The rest of mankind only run up and down the shore. But those who, when the law has been well preached to them, follow the law, will pass over the dominion of death, however difficult to cross. A wise man should leave the dark state of ordinary life and follow the bright state of the bhikshu. After going from his home to a homeless state, he should find delight in the solitude, which the common people find difficult to enjoy. He who follows the law will find delight there, without finding delight in the world. As the Vasika plant sheds its withered flowers, men should shed passion and hatred. O the bhikshus, the bhikshu whose body and tongue and mind are quieted, who is collected and has rejected the bets of the world. He is called quiet. Rouse thyself by thyself, examine thyself by thyself. Thus, self-protected and attentive, you will live happily, O bhikshu. For self is the lord of self. Self is the refuge of self. Therefore, curb thyself, as the merchant curbs a noble horse. The bhikshu, who is full of delight in meditation, who is calm, who delights in the goodness of renunciation, such a bhikshu will shine forth, dispelling darkness, like the moon when freed from a cloud. Chapter 7. The Venerable Dot, in whom there is no sympathy for living beings, who does not tremble at the dangers of existence, who has laid aside the stick against all beings, whether weak or strong. Him do I call indeed a Brahmana, he who without hurting any creatures, whether feeble or strong, does not kill nor cause to kill. Him do I call indeed a Brahmina, he who is tolerant with the intolerant, mild with fault-finders, and free from passion among the passionate. Him do I call indeed a Brahmana, he from whom anger and hatred, pride and hypocrisy have dropped like a mustard seed from the point of a needle. Him do I call indeed a Brahmana, he who utters gentle, instructive, and truthful speech, who by his words gives offense to none. Him do I call indeed a Brahmana, he who takes nothing that is not given to him, be it long or short, small or great, good or bad. Him do I call indeed a Brahmana. He who covets not this world nor the next, has no inclinations and is unshackled. Him do I call indeed a Brahmana. He who has no interests, and when he has understood the truth, does not say how, and who has reached the depth of immortality. Him do I call indeed a Brahmana. Chapter 8. The thousands, better than 1,000. Useless words is one useful word, hearing which one becomes peaceful, better than 1,000 useless verses? Is one useful verse, hearing which one becomes peaceful, better than reciting 100 useless verses? Is one verse of the law, hearing which one becomes peaceful? Though a man recites 100 verses composed of useless words, one verse of the law is better, hearing which one becomes peaceful. If one man conquer in battle 1,000 times 1,000 men, and if another conquer himself, he is the greatest of conquerors. Self-conquest is far better than the conquest of others. Not even a god, a Gandharva, not Mara with Brahman, can change into defeat the victory of a man who has vanquished himself and always lives under restraint. If a man for 100 years sacrifice month after month with 1,000 gifts, and if he but for one moment pay homage to a man whose soul is grounded in true knowledge, better is that homage than sacrifice for 100 years. If a man for 100 years worship the fire in the forest, and if he but for one moment pay homage to a man whose soul is grounded in true knowledge, better is that homage than sacrifice. For 100 years, whatever a man sacrifice in this world as an offering or as an oblation for a whole year, all that is not worth a quarter. Better is the reverence for the righteous, he who always greets and constantly reveres the aged, for things will increase to him life, beauty, happiness, power. Better it is to live one day virtuous and meditative than to live 100 years vicious and uncontrolled. Better it is to live one day wise and meditative than to live 100 years foolish and uncontrolled. Better it is to live one day strenuous and resolute than to live 100 years idle and weak. Better it is to live one day seeing the rise and fall of things than to live 100 years without ever seeing their rise and fall. Better it is to live one day seeing the state of deathlessness than to live 100 years without ever seeing the immortal state. Chapter 9. Evil. If a man commits evil, let him not do it again. Let him not delight in it. Pain is the outcome of evil. If a man commits a good deed, let him do it again. Let him delight in it. Happiness is the outcome of good. Even an evildoer sees happiness as long as his evil deed does not ripen. But when his evil deed ripens, then does the evildoer see evil. Even a good man sees evil days as long as his good deed does not ripen. But when his good deed ripens, then does the good man see good. Let no man think lightly of evil, saying in his heart, it will not come nigh unto me. Even by the falling of water drops, a water pot is filled. The fool becomes full of evil, even if he gather it little by little. Let no man think lightly of good saying in his heart, it will not come nigh unto me. Even by the falling of water drops, a water pot is filled. The wise man becomes full of good, even if he gather it little by little. Let a man avoid evil deeds as a merchant who has few companions and carries much wealth avoids a dangerous road. As a man who loves life avoids poison, he who has no wound on his hand may touch poison with his hand. Poison does not affect him who has no wound, nor is there evil for one who does not commit evil. If a man offends a harmless, pure and innocent person, the evil falls back upon that fool, like light dust thrown up against the wind. Some people are born again. Evildoers go to hell. Righteous people go to heaven. Those who are free from all worldly desires attain nirvana, not in the sky, not in the midst of the sea, not if we enter into the clefts of the mountains. Is there known a spot in the whole world where death could not overcome the mortal? Chapter 10. Violence. All men tremble at punishment. All men fear death. Remember that you are like unto them. And do not kill nor cause slaughter. All men tremble at punishment. All men love life. Remember that you are like unto them, and do not kill nor cause slaughter. He who seeking his own happiness punishes or kills beings who also long for happiness will not find happiness after death. He who seeking his own happiness does not punish or kill beings who also long for happiness will find happiness after death. Do not speak harshly to anybody. Those who are spoken to will answer you in the same way. Angry speech is painful. Blows for blows will touch you. If like a broken gong you do not sound, then you have reached nirvana. Contention is not found in you. As the herdsman drives his cows into the pasture, so do age and death drive the life of men. A fool does not know when he commits his evil deeds, but the wicked man burns by his own deeds, as if burnt by fire. He who inflicts pain on innocent and harmless persons will soon come to one of these 10 states. He will have cruel suffering, loss, injury of the body, heavy affliction, or loss of mind, or misfortune from the king, or fearful accusation, or loss of relations, or destruction of treasures, or lightning fire will burn his houses. And when his body is destroyed, the fool will go to hell. Not nakedness, not plaited hair, not dirt, not fasting, or lying on the earth, not rubbing with dust, not sitting motionless, can purify a mortal who has not overcome desires. He who, though dressed in fine apparel, exercises tranquility, is quiet, subdued, restrained, chaste, and has ceased to find fault with all other beings, he indeed is a Brahmana, an ascetic. A friar is there in this world a man who is so restrained by shame that he does not mind reproof, as a well-trained horse the whip. Like a well-trained horse when touched by the whip. Be the active and lively by faith, by virtue, by energy, by meditation, by discernment of the law. You will overcome this great pain of existence. The farmer guides the water, the fletcher shapes the arrow, the carpenter bends the wood, the good people control themselves. Chapter 11. Old Age. How is their laughter? How is their joy, as this world is always burning? Why do you not seek a light? The who are surrounded by darkness, look at this dressed up lump, covered with wounds, joined together, sickly, full of many thoughts, in which there is neither permanence nor stability. This body is wasted, full of sickness and frail. This heap of corruption breaks to pieces. Life indeed ends in death. These grey bones are like gourds thrown away in autumn. What pleasure is there in looking at them? The body is wasted, a city built of bones plastered with flesh and blood, wherein dwell decay and death, pride and hypocrisy. The glorious chariots of the kings wear out. The body also approaches decay, but the law of the good never decays. Thus do the good proclaim among the good. The man who has learnt little grows old like an ox. His flesh grows, but his knowledge does not grow. Through the round of births I ran, seeking the builder of the house, and repeatedly finding not. Painful is birth again and again. But now, builder of the house, you are seen. You shall not build the house again. Your rafters are broken, your ridgepole is sundered, that the mind is freed from all cravings, and has attained the extinction of desires. Chapter 12. Self. If a man hold himself dear, let him watch himself carefully. During one, at least, out of the 3 watches, a wise man should be watchful. Let each man direct himself first to what is proper, then let him teach others. Thus a wise man will not suffer. If a man make himself as he teaches others to be, then being himself well subdued, he may subdue others. For self is difficult to subdue. Self is the lord of self. Who else could be the lord? With self well subdued, a man finds a lord such as few can find. The evil done by oneself, self-begotten, self-bred, crushes the foolish as a diamond breaks a precious stone. He whose wickedness is very great brings himself down to that state where his enemy wishes him to be, as a creeper does with the tree which it surrounds. Bad deeds and deeds hurtful to ourselves are easy to do. What is beneficial and good, that is very difficult to do. The foolish man who scorns the rule of life of the venerable, of the aureus, of the virtuous, and follows false doctrine, bears fruit to his own destruction. Like the fruits of the Kathika read by oneself, the evil is done. By oneself one suffers, by oneself evil is left undone. By oneself one is purified. Purity and impurity belong to oneself. No one can purify another. Let no one forget his own duty for the sake of another's. However great, let a man, after he has discerned his own duty, be always attentive to his duty. Chapter 13. The world. Do not follow the evil law. Do not live on in THOUGHTLESSNESS. Do not follow false doctrine. Be not a friend of the world. Rouse thyself. Do not be idle. Follow the law of virtue. The virtuous rests in bliss, in this world and in the next. Follow the law of virtue. Do not follow that of sin. The virtuous rests in bliss, in this world and in the next. Look upon the world as a bubble. Look upon it as a mirage. The king of death does not see him who thus looks down upon the world. Come look at this glittering world, like unto a royal chariot. The foolish are immersed in it, but the wise do not touch it. He who formerly was reckless and afterwards became sober brightens up this world, like the moon when freed from clouds. He whose evil deeds are covered by good deeds brightens up this world, like the moon when freed from clouds. This world is dark. Few only can see here. A few only go to heaven. Like birds escaped from the net, the swans go on the path of the sun. They go through the ether by means of their miraculous power. The wise are led out of this world when they have conquered Mara and his train. If a man has transgressed one law and speaks lies and scoffs at another world, there is no evil he will not do. The uncharitable do not go to the world of the gods. Fools only do not praise liberality. A wise man rejoices in liberality, and through it becomes blessed in the other world. Chapter 14. The Buddha. The awakened call that person wise, who from day to day knows the law. He who is devoted to the law, who delights in the law, and who meditates on the law. He is called a bhiksu, a man who delights in the law, who is always mindful of the law, will not fall away from the true law. Let a man not despise what he has received, nor envy others. The man who envies others does not obtain peace of mind. A bhikshu, who receives his food in due season, who is satisfied and whose conduct is holy, will not be faint-minded, as the bee collects nectar and departs without injuring the flower, its color or scent. So let a sage dwell on the earth, not the perversion of others, not their sins of commission or omission, but his own misdeeds and negligences. Should a sage take notice of, like a beautiful flower full of color but without scent, are the fine but fruitless words of him who does not act accordingly. But like a beautiful flower full of color and full of scent are the fine and fruitful words of him who acts accordingly. As many kinds of garlands can be made from a heap of flowers, so many good things may be achieved by a mortal once he is born. The scent of flowers does not travel against the wind, nor that of sandalwood or of tagara and jasmine, but the fragrance of virtue travels even against the wind. The good man pervades every place. Sandalwood or tagara, a lotus flower or a jasmine. Among these sorts of perfumes, the perfume of virtue is unsurpassed. Mean is the scent that comes from tagara and sandalwood. The perfume of virtue rises up to the gods as the highest. He who knows that this body is like froth, and has learnt that it is as unsubstantial as a mirage, will break the flower-pointed arrow of Mara, and never see the king of death. Chapter 15. Happiness. Let us live happily, then not hating those who hate us. Among men who hate us, let us dwell, free from hatred. Let us live happily then, free from ailments. Among the ailing, among men who are ailing, let us dwell free from ailment. Let us live happily, then free from greed. Among the greedy, among men who are greedy, let us dwell free from greed. Let us live happily, then though we call nothing our own, we shall be like the bright gods feeding on happiness. Victory breeds hatred, for the conquered is unhappy. He who has given up both victory and defeat, he, the contented, finds happiness. There is no fire like passion. There is no losing throw like hatred. There is no pain like this body. There is no happiness higher than rest. Hunger is the worst of diseases, the body the greatest of pains. If one knows this truly, that is nirvana. The highest happiness. Health is the greatest of gifts. Contentedness the best riches. Trust is the best of relationships. Nirvana, the highest happiness. He who has tasted the sweetness of solitude and tranquility is free from fear and free from sin, while he tastes the sweetness of drinking in the law. The sight of the elect is good. To live with them is always happiness. If a man does not see fools, he will be truly happy. He who walks in the company of fools suffers a long way. Company with fools, as with an enemy, is always painful. Company with the wise is pleasure, like meeting with kinsfolk. Therefore, if a man lives with the wise, even for a single moment, that company is sweet. Let a man be wise, and dwell with those who are noble and good, like the moon following the path of the stars. Chapter 16. Affection. He who holds back rising anger, like a rolling chariot, him I call a real driver. Other people are but holding the reins. Let a man overcome anger by love. Let him overcome evil by good. Let him overcome the greedy by liberality, the liar by truth. Speak the truth. Do not yield to anger. Give, if thou art asked. By these 3 steps, thou wilt go near the gods. The wise, who control their body, who control their tongue, the wise, who control their mind, are indeed well controlled. The man who is without anger, who is devout in conduct, who is virtuous and self-controlled, he indeed is called a sage. If a man is free from anger, he is freed from bonds. If a man is full of kindness, he is freed from bonds. He who harms not with his stick those who are seeking their happiness, and trembles not before any other beings, he is called a sage. Chapter 17. Anger. Let a man leave anger. Let him forsake pride. Let him overcome all bondage. No sufferings befall the man who is not attached to name and form, and who calls nothing his own. He who holds back rising anger like a rolling chariot, him I call a real driver. Other people are but holding the reins. Let a man overcome anger by love. Let him overcome evil by good. Let him overcome the greedy by liberality, the liar by truth. Speak the truth. Do not yield to anger. Give, if thou art asked. By these 3 steps thou wilt go near the gods. The wise who control their body, who control their tongue, the wise who control their mind, are indeed well controlled. The man who is without anger, who is devout in conduct, who is virtuous and self-controlled, he indeed is called a sage. If a man is free from anger, he is freed from bonds. If a man is full of kindness, he is freed from bonds. He who harms not with his stick those who are seeking their happiness, and trembles not before any other beings, he is called a sage. Chapter 18. Impurity. Thou art now like a withered leaf. The messengers of death have come near to thee. Thou standest in the jaws of death, and thou hast no provision for the road. Make an island of thyself. Quickly strive. Be wise when thy impurities are blown away, and thou art free from guilt. Thou wilt enter into the heavenly world of the elect. Thy life has come to an end. Thou art come near to death. There is no resting place for thee on the road, and thou hast no provision for the road. Make an island of thyself. Quickly strive. Be wise when thy impurities are blown away, and thou art free from guilt. Thou wilt not enter into birth and decay again. For a wise man there is no sorrow in leaving children or brothers or sisters, nor in leaving wealth or riches, for he has nothing to call his own. Difficult is it to obtain birth. As a man, difficult is the life of mortals. Difficult is the hearing of the true law. Difficult is the birth of the awakened, not to commit any sin, to do good, and to purify one's mind. That is the teaching of the awakened. The awakened call patience the highest penance, long-suffering the highest nirvana. For he is not an anchorite who strikes others. He is not an ascetic who insults others. Not to blame, not to strike, to live restrained under the law, to be moderate in eating, to sleep and sit alone, and to dwell on the highest thoughts. This is the teaching of the awakened. Chapter 19. The just. A man is not just if he carries a matter by violence. He who distinguishes both right and wrong, who is learned and leads others, not by violence, but by law and equity, and who is guarded by the law, he is called just. A man is not wise because he speaks much. He who is peaceable, friendly, and fearless, he is called wise. A man is not a supporter of the law because he speaks much. He who hears little but sees the law bodily, he is a supporter of the law. He never neglects the law. A man is not an elder because his head is grey. His age may be ripe, but he is called old in vain. He in whom there is truth, virtue, love, restraint, moderation, he who is free from impurity and is wise, he is called an elder, not by mere fine speech, not by coloring himself with hair and beard black, does an envious, greedy false man become respectable, but he in whom there is truth and righteousness, he is blessed, he is respected, not by much learning, not by religion, not by entering into solitude, not by sleeping on the ground, do I call a man a true Brahmana, the man who is free from sin and doubt, who has entered the right path, and who has attained the highest good. Him I call a Brahmana. Chapter 20. The way. The best of ways is the eightfold path. The best of truths, the 4 words. The best of virtues, passionlessness. The best of men, he who has eyes to see. This is the way, there is no other, that leads to thee. Purifying of intelligence, go on this way. Everything else is the deceit of Mara. If you go on this way, you will make an end of pain. The way was preached by me, when I had understood the removal of the thorns in the flesh. You yourself must make an effort. The awakened are only preachers. The thoughtful who enter the way are freed from the bondage of Mara. All created things perish. He who knows and sees, this becomes passive in pain. This is the way to purity. All created things are grief and pain. He who knows and sees this becomes passive in pain. This is the way to purity. All forms are unreal. He who knows and sees this becomes passive in pain. This is the way to purity. He who does not rouse himself when it is time to rise, who though young and strong is full of sloth, whose will and thought are weak, that lazy and idle man will never find the way to knowledge. Watching his speech well, restraining his mind. Let a man not commit any evil with his body. Let a man but keep these three roads of action clear, and he will achieve the way which is taught by the wise. Through zeal, knowledge is gained. Through lack of zeal, knowledge is lost. Let a man who knows this double path of gain and loss, thus place himself that knowledge may grow. Cut down the whole forest of lust, not a tree only. Danger comes out of the forest of lust, when you have cut down both forest and undergrowth. Then Bhikshus, you will be rid of the forest and free, so long as the love of man towards women, even the smallest, is not destroyed, so long is his mind in bondage. As the calf that drinks milk is to its mother, cut out the love of self. Like an autumn lotus with thy hand, cherish the road of peace. Nirvana has been shown by the awakened. Here I shall dwell in the rain, here in winter and summer. Thus the fool meditates, and does not think of his death. Death comes and carries off that man, cherishing his children and flocks, his mind distracted. As a flood carries off a sleeping village, sons are no help, nor a father, nor relations. There is no help from kinsfolk for one whom death has seized. A wise and good man who knows the law should quickly clear the way that leads to nirvana. Chapter 2:1. Miscellaneous. If by forsaking a limited happiness he would see an abundant happiness, let the wise man forsake the limited happiness and look to the abundant. He who seeks his own happiness by hurting or killing beings never finds happiness, neither living nor dead. He who seeks not his own happiness by hurting or killing beings shall find happiness both living and dead. The man who formerly was careless and afterwards became careful brightens up the world like the moon when freed from clouds. He whose evil deeds are covered by good deeds brightens up the world like the moon when freed from clouds. This world is dark. Few only can see here. A few only go to heaven like birds escaped from the net. The swans go on the path of the sun. They go through the ether by means of their miraculous power. The wise are led out of this world when they have conquered Mara and his train. If a man has transgressed one law and speaks lies and scoffs at another world, there is no evil he will not do. The uncharitable do not go to the world of the gods. Fools only do not praise liberality. A wise man rejoices in liberality, and through it becomes blessed in the other world. Better it is to live alone. There is no companionship with a fool. Let a man walk alone. Let him commit no sin. With few wishes, like an elephant in the forest. Chapter 22. The downward course. He who says what is not goes to hell. He also who, having done a thing, says I did not do it. After death both are equal. They are men of evil deeds. Many men whose shoulders are covered with the yellow robe are ill-conditioned and unrestrained. Such evildoers by their evil deeds go to hell. Better it would be to swallow a heated iron ball, like blazing fire, than that. A bad, unrestrained fellow should live on the charity of the land. For things does a careless man gain who covets his neighbor's wife: a bad reputation, an uncomfortable bed, thirdly punishment, and lastly hell. There is bad reputation and the evil way to hell. There is the short pleasure of the frightened in the arms of the frightened, and the king imposes heavy punishment. Therefore let no man think of his neighbor's wife as a grass blade, if badly grasped, cuts the arm. Bad asceticism and conduct lead to hell. An act carelessly performed, a broken vow and false pretense of religion. All these things are of no great value. If anything is to be done, let a man do it. Let him attack it vigorously. A careless pilgrim only scatters the dust of his passions more widely. An evil deed is better left undone, for a man repents of it afterwards. A good deed is better done, for having done it one does not repent, as long as the evil deed done does not bear fruit. The fool thinks it is like honey, but when it ripens, then he suffers grief. A fool's evil deed burns him, as iron burns him when heated red by fire, as a ship loaded with salt is burnt by water. Chapter 23. The Elephant. I shall endure abuse as the elephant endures the battle. I shall endure abuse as the elephant endures arrows shot from the bow. For the world is ill-natured, they lead a tamed elephant to battle. The king mounts a tamed elephant. The tamed is the best among men. He who endures abuse. Excellent are mules if tamed, and noble sinew horses, and great elephants trained. But he who tames himself is better still. For with these animals does no man reach the untrodden country, nirvana, where a tamed man goes on his well-tamed self. The elephant called Dhammapada, being in rut, is difficult to hold in. He will not eat when bound. The elephant longs for the elephant forest. If a man is idle and a glutton, if he is sleepy and rolls himself about, that fool like a hog fed on swill is born again and again. Formerly this mind wandered about as it liked, as it pleased, as it listed. But now I shall control it thoroughly, as the keeper controls the elephant in rut. Take pleasure in vigilance. Guard your mind well. Draw yourselves out of the evil way as an elephant sunk in mud. If a man finds a prudent companion who walks with him, is wise and lives soberly, he may walk with him, overcoming all dangers, happy and mindful. But if a man finds no prudent companion who walks with him, is wise and lives soberly, let him walk alone, like a king who has left his conquered country, or like an elephant in the forest. It is better to live alone. There is no companionship with a fool. Let a man walk alone, let him commit no sin, with few wishes, like an elephant in the forest. Chapter 24. Thirst. The thirst of a thoughtless man grows like a creeper. He runs from life to life, like a monkey seeking fruit in the forest. Whomsoever this fierce thirst overcomes, full of strong desires in this world, his sufferings grow like the abounding banana grass. He who overcomes this fierce thirst, difficult to be conquered in this world, sufferings fall off from him, like water drops from a lotus leaf. This salutary Word, I tell you, do thee as many as are here assembled. Dig up the root of thirst, as he who wants the sweet-scented Usira root must dig up the Birana grass, that Mara may not crush you again and again as the stream crushes the reeds. As a tree, even though it has been cut down, is firm so long as its root is safe and grows again. Thus, unless the feeders of thirst are destroyed, this pain of life will return again and again. He whose thirst, running towards pleasure, is exceeding strong. In the 36 channels, the waves will carry away that misguided man. The channels run everywhere. The creeper of passion stands sprouting. If you see the creeper shooting up, cut its root by means of knowledge. A creature's pleasures are extravagant and luxurious, given to passion and thirst, seeking after pleasures. They undergo birth and decay. Men driven on by thirst run about like a hunted hare, held in fetters and bonds. They undergo pain for a long time, again and again. Men driven on by thirst run about like a hunted hare. Let therefore the bhikshu drive out thirst by striving after passionlessness for himself. He who, having got rid of the forest of lust, gives himself over to the forest of the world, and who, running back into the forest, looks out for pleasures, such a man is free, but runs into bondage. Wise people do not call strong fetters those which are made of iron, wood, or hemp. Far stronger are the fetters of passion for precious stones and ornaments. These drag down the careless man. They are difficult to break, but the wise, cutting even these through, without caring for pleasures, go forth free from desires, leaving the pleasures behind. Those who are carried away by passions run down the stream, like a spider runs down the web which he has made himself. When they have cut this through, the wise go free from all sorrow, leaving the pleasures behind. Do not grieve for the past. Do not worry about the future. Live in the present. Do not bind yourself again and again to birth and death. He whose mind is not attached to pleasures, he who has overcome all desires, even the gods envy him. He is free from all bonds. Chapter 25. The bhikkhu who delights in vigilance, who looks with fear on thoughtlessness, advances like fire burning all bonds, small or large. The bhikkhu who delights in vigilance, who looks with fear on thoughtlessness, will not fall away. He is close upon nirvana. Empty this boat. If emptied, it will go quickly. Having cut off passion and hatred, thou wilt go to nirvana. Cut off the 5 fetters, leave the 5, rise above the 5. A bhikkhu who has escaped from the 5 fetters, he is called Agatina, saved from the flood. Meditate, bhikkhu. Let not your mind be distracted, lest you swallow the iron ball and cry when burning. This is pain. There is no meditation for him who is not wise, no wisdom for him who does not meditate. He in whom there are meditation and wisdom, he is indeed close to nirvana. The bhikkhu who has entered his empty house, whose mind is tranquil and who sees the true law clearly, his happiness is more than human. Whenever he reflects on the rise and fall of the elements of body and mind, he is full of joy and happiness. The wise call this the way of nirvana. This is the beginning here for a wise bhikkhu: watchfulness over the senses, contentment, restraint under the law, keeping noble friends whose life is pure and who are not slothful. Let him live in charity. Let him be perfect in his duties. Then, in the fullness of delight, he will make an end of suffering. Chapter 26. The Brahmana, restrain thyself like a well-trained horse, when touched by the whip, by faith, by virtue, by energy, by meditation, by discernment of the law, you will overcome this great pain of existence, perfect in knowledge and behavior and never forgetful. Well makers lead the water, fletchers bend the arrow, carpenters bend a log of wood. Good people fashion themselves, as a solid rock is not shaken by the wind. Wise people falter not amidst blame and praise. Wise people, after they have listened to the laws, become serene like a deep, smooth, and still lake. Good people walk on whatever befalls. The good do not prattle, longing for pleasure. Whether touched by happiness or sorrow, wise people never appear elated or depressed. If by renouncing a small happiness he may behold a great happiness, let the wise man renounce the small happiness in consideration of the greater happiness. He who is full of love, who is endued with virtue and truth, is freed from passion and anger, is called a Brahmana. He who is calm like the earth, firm like a doorpost, like a lake without mud. To such a calm man, life does not exist. He is free from desire. He is called a Brahmana. He who knows his former abodes, who sees heaven and hell, and has reached the end of births, is a sage perfect in knowledge, a great being. Is he? He is called a Brahmana. This concludes the complete reading of the Dhammapada. From the twin verses to the Brahmana, may these teachings guide you toward mindfulness, clarity, and peace. If you found this reading meaningful, please subscribe and join us again for future readings. Until then, may all beings be free from suffering.